Alright guys, I will be going over and doing the install of GM Performance Parts cold air intake. So this is what came in the cold air intake box. You have your elbow, your tube that the mass air flow sensor connects into, new rubber O-rings and a spacer for the throttle body and new bolts, your air filter instructions, and the air box, which is nice and insulated. Alright, so first thing you want to do is disconnect the battery, come inside your trunk, pull this panel off that covers that, use a 10mm socket and a ratchet, undo this, just loosen it, don't take it all the way out, pull the negative terminal off. Coming up front here, you're going to want to take a pair of pliers. You're going to want to remove this. Like so, take this off. Also, you're going to want to remove this hose. Simple. Just squeeze it in like that. And it just pops off. And then you want to unplug your mass airflow sensor. Underneath should be like a red tab. Pull it back and then just squeeze. It will unplug. You have this connector here. Gonna have to use a screwdriver for it. Alright, take a screwdriver, just pop that off like that. Put your wire back here out of the way. Now you're going to want to loosen this, loosen that. Don't take it all the way off, but loosen it a good bit. You can use a flathead or you can use a socket. I will use a socket and ratchet to tighten it back up so I can get it nice and snug when I do the new intake and do the hose clamps on the new intake. But for now, this flathead will take these off. And once you undo the hose clamps, it just pulls off like that. And you can sit that up there for the time being. Now I already went ahead, but the air box, you can just reach in here, reach on the side here, and just pull up. There are tabs that are stuck in the rubber grommet, and just pull, wiggle until it comes up. Once you get this all loose, you're going to want to take your flathead, and up here you're going to pry this open. So just get in here, open that up, pull your wire loom out of it like so, and then you can remove the air box. And the air box just lifts out. Like you can see, there's the rubber grommet. This one here obviously came out, so you're going to want to go to your air box, flip it over, see if there's any rubber grommets stuck in it. There is not. I was mistaken. That is not a grommet. So you only have them two back ones that hold this on, and there's that one. My bad. So you pry this off. This is the grommet that came out of here. So there is 3 grommets. Okay, so you're going to want to remove the piece that was in here and the piece that was in there on your factory intake elbow. I used a flathead screwdriver, just jammed it in there like that, and just keep wiggling it, pulling until you get enough slack to pull them out. Once out, you're going to install them in the new intake elbow like this. These here, once you get them in, I used a pair of channel locks, squeezed them nice and tight, as you can see, and put them in like that. So they give you this sleeve and zip ties. You're going to take this out of the bag. We're going to wrap this tube here with the sleeve, and we're going to zip tie it on there. So you'll wrap it around it and zip tie it like that. Next, peel off this protective film. Next, you're going to remove the big hose clamp off the air filter, and then slide the air filter from the inside the box out. Then you're going to place this back on to the filter. Now you're going to take the mass airflow tube and you're going to place it in the filter. On the tube right here, this hash mark, you're going to line up with this mark on the air filter, and then you can tighten it down. So you're going to do that like so. Line up the marks, as you can see, and tighten it up. Then you're going to want to take the tube, the filter, and the air box and try to line them all up with each other. So that mark right there on the box, your air filter and your tube, you want to try to line them all up. This is critical for your mass airflow sensor. Next, you're going to want to remove this clip off your factory air box, which we'll be installing on the new air box. So install it just like that. On the back of that clip, you just squeeze in the two prongs and pop it out of your OEM one. Next, you're going to want to take an Allen key, remove this lid, the 3 bolts. Now what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to pop all 3 of the legs down into the rubber grommets. It's going to take a little force, but it goes in. This does touch here. That's why they gave you that sheathing. Then run your hose, clamp it in there, and then you can put the air box back on. Next, we're going to remove the throttle body bolts. They're 10 millimeters. There's 4 of them. We're going to pull it off. So since my car is fairly new, I'm going to just keep the O-ring that's on there. Save one of these ones as a spare in the future. Now when you go to put this spacer on, there is a lip. It will go down. It'll go on the bottom and go in. The kit comes with supplied bolts. You'll use them to install. You will tighten down the 88 inch-pounds. After you got the throttle body installed, next we're going to install the intake elbow. So I was having some issues here getting this on. Here's a tip. The hose under here that rubs the coolant line, not the coolant line, the AC line, you can actually push on here. I pushed it down and it just slightly bent the line, but it gave me enough room. I have no touching whatsoever, so I got all kind of clearance. Next, take your OEM mass airflow sensor out of your old air box, install it here, make sure you put it in flowing the right way. The plug is at the bottom. Plug it in, and voila, that is her. So now we can go back, put the battery back in, well, not back in, put the battery terminal back on, and then we can fire up. Per instructions, there is a calibration. You can take it to the dealer. All it is emissions. It's not a performance calibration. So I hope you liked this video. If so, I will be doing a lot more on my Camaro, so please like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing the strut tower bar next, and I got tail lights, a couple odds and ends, and then here in the future going to do a cam, maybe heads, long tube headers. So stay tuned.